Hi everybody. The Tinker Steelworks furnace is not the only blast furnace in this mod pack. In fact, we're going to go with a much smaller one today because we're going to play with RotaryCraft. The RotaryCraft furnace is not powered by coal or charcoal. It's powered by, well, basically by heat, which can have any number of sources, including lava. Which means once this gets up to 600 degrees, we will have some HSLA steel, or as I prefer to call it, rotary steel, because who has the time to say HSLA every time they want to talk about steel? And 600 degrees. And rotary steel. And in a few minutes we should have 2 1/4 stacks of it, at least. Depending on whether the gunpowder holds out. I don't have very much of it. But you don't use it every time this thing produces either, so it might be enough. But probably not. Well, as it turns out, we do have enough gunpowder to do it all. And that's good news, because there are plenty of things I want to do with it. And work table, steam engine, and grinder. Which brings me to my next two things. This house needs a basement, and I need to grow some more crops. First off being canola, but I'm also going to plant a wheat crop while I'm at it. And canola farm. And wheat farm. The wheat farm is taking a bit longer to develop than the canola farm, because wheat doesn't put out quite as many seeds, and because it doesn't grow quite as fast as canola. But what I needed most at the moment is canola seeds. And one of these plants drops about 9 seeds, or 18 seeds. They drop a lot of seeds. Which means I'm going to be able to make a lot of canola oil. Which is an important lubricant in RotaryCraft. Which will come in handy in my new basement. But first I'm going to need some more storage. Like this. And I'm also going to want a steam engine, and a grinder, and apparently a wrench. I have also decided that it is past time that I came up with a more intelligent system for my storage and sorting. And for most people, that means applied energistics. But for me, it means logistics pipes. So we'll start off with power over here, a provider over here for my chest that's full of canola seeds, and some unrouted pipe over here, and set this basic pipe to receive canola seeds. It's been a long time since I've played with these. Too long. What I need over here is a supplier pipe in order to make active requests and tell it to keep the grinder loaded up with canola seeds. And next we need to keep the steam engine supplied with water, and we need to give it a heat source underneath. For the water supply, we're using a good old-fashioned pump hooked up with a provider pipe. And on the other end, with a fluid supplier, and one moment while I tell it which fluid to use. I think the capacity of this is, yes, 4 buckets. Maybe more. Okay, and finally we want a heat source underneath it. Lighting a fire under it is the best solution for keeping it hot. So normally one would go with netherrack and just put it underneath there. But I have not yet gone to the nether, for reasons that you will probably see if you stick with this series for a while. But I do have an alternative. Buildcraft oil is like liquid netherrack. So once this heats up to 100 centigrade, it'll start spinning this thing and producing canola oil for us. And steam engine. And we've got power, we've got speed, and we've got torque. Not enough torque. I'm going to need gears to adjust this properly. And grinder. That should work. But it seems to be just short of all the torque we need. And that's probably because it's taking some damage. That's because the gearbox is taking damage because it doesn't have lubricant. So what I'm going to need is more torque than that. Okay, so what I have done is I have doubled my steam engines and then combined their power with the shaft into this damaged gearbox. So it will still put out less power than it should, but should still be enough to run the grinder so that it will provide us some canola to put into the steel gearbox to keep it from getting damaged further. So, all we need to do is provide it with canola seeds and provide the other end with water. And then light our oil on fire. And let's make that look a little bit better. Okay, lighting our oil on fire. And soon we should have some lubricant going into the gearbox so that we can make more lubricant. And there we have our steam going. And it is still doing damage to the gearbox, and it's going to do that until we manage to get some lubricant out of this grinder. Like that. Okay, so that's not as efficient as it could be, but we've got lubricant, and that's the important part. Later on, I'm going to have to set up a logistics chassis so that it will automatically remove the seed husks and centrifuge those for more oil. But for right now, this is working. So, there's our basic RotaryCraft and logistics pipe setup. Tune in next episode to see what I do next. Until then, have some fun, build something cool, and have a nice day.